Hello, Sharon here, and welcome back to my channel. Now, as small business owners, taking a holiday is not just a matter of shutting up shop for a week or so and heading off to some sunny beach somewhere. It doesn't matter if you have 3 employees or 33, or if it's just you by yourself. You own the business. And so there are certain things you need to put in place and prepare before you go away. I'm going to share 5 quick admin tips to help ensure that your business still runs like clockwork whilst you're away, just so you can enjoy your time off a little bit more. Now, one of the obvious things to set up is your email out of office autoresponder. Try to give as much information as you can without waffling on. Make sure to include when people can expect a reply from you. It doesn't have to be a real serious, rigid out of office either. Inject some of your personality into the message and make it a bit lighthearted if that's who you are. Do whatever comes naturally to you. So things to include in your out of office message. Obviously, the date that you're back online, details of anyone who may be covering for you. So for example, you could say, in my absence, please contact such and such at their email address, etc. Or you might actually want to deal with any emergencies or urgent inquiries yourself whilst you're away. And in that case, ask people to send a text message to you if it can't wait until you're back. Now, one thing a lot of business owners forget to do is set up an out of office message for their contact form. So if you've got a contact form on your website, then think about changing the automated message that goes out to anybody who fills the form out. That way, prospective clients and customers know when to expect a reply from you. So after setting up your out of office for your emails, remember to do the same with your phone, your voicemail. Change your phone voicemail greeting to let people know when they can expect a reply. If it's an urgent call, maybe advise them in your message to send a text message or pass on the details of who they should contact in your absence. Now, I've just mentioned about the contact form on the website if you have one. And another thing to think about is what happens if your website actually goes down whilst you're away? Who would deal with that? Or if you have an online shop, are there systems in place to deal with any issues that could arise? If you have employees, do you have a manager or someone who would be the first point of contact when you're unavailable? Do they have all the relevant information to deal with any issues that could come up? So one way of making sure you have all the bases covered is to think about what's the worst that can happen. Before you go away, make a list of all the worst case scenarios of anything that could go wrong, and then go through them one at a time so you can make sure the relevant person or people have all the information they need to deal with any issues or to deal with that specific issue. It also wouldn't hurt for you to take with you a list of all your important contact numbers in a file on your phone, as well as a paper copy as a backup just in case. Now, moving on to your social media, you need to decide what happens to your social media whilst you're away. Do you want to continue posting on a regular basis? Or do you want to post the last update before you finish to let people know not to expect any more until you're back? Now, there's no right or wrong answer to this. It's whatever works best for you and your business. And obviously, it depends on how many people work for you and whether you have a marketing department or a marketing team that deals with your social media for you. If you're a one-man band like I am, then bear in mind there are lots of free tools out there that allow you to schedule social media posts in advance. For example, Hootsuite, Buffer, Later, and not forgetting Facebook itself, so you don't have to remember to do it during your holiday. However, one thing to remember is that if you have posts scheduled to go out whilst you're away, you may get interaction on those posts. So think about whether you'll be checking them and responding to them whilst you're off, or if somebody else will be doing it for you. There's also the option of outsourcing your social media to a virtual assistant so they can deal with any interactions on your behalf whilst you're away. Now, I have to mention an important side note here, and that is to be very cautious if you're posting holiday photos. Be aware that you could be letting potential thieves know that your house is unoccupied at that time. So just bear that in mind. But as I said, there's no right or wrong answer to this when it comes to posting your social media. Only you will know what's best for your business. Now, it goes without saying that you must let your regular customers or clients know in advance when you're going to be away. Don't let them find out from your autoresponder or voicemail if they try and contact you. If you send out regular emails or newsletters as part of your marketing, then include a quick paragraph in there letting people know that you're taking time off. If you need to let them know alternative arrangements, then make sure you give all the information at the same time. Try to give them as much notice as you can. So you could say, for example, I'm going to be away the first 2 weeks of next month. So if you need me for anything before then, just let me know. This could also bring in a bit of business for you, a bit of extra business for you, as it creates a sense of urgency for your customers or clients. And another way of letting people know in advance is to add a quick line in your email signature, advising that you'll be unavailable between these two dates. And a top tip that I use myself, but just don't tell my clients, is to say that you're returning a couple of days after you actually are. So this gives you a bit of breathing space to catch up on your emails and any outstanding admin that needs to be done. Great customer service is vital in any business, no matter what type of business you have. So it doesn't do well to leave clients or customers guessing when they can get hold of you. And moving on to my final tip, and in this day and age, it's so easy to become a slave to technology. We spend the majority of the time on our phones or our laptops, whether it's talking to clients, catching up with our own admin, or just mindlessly scrolling through our news feeds. It's never ending. And although we know that it's too much of it is bad for us, we just can't get enough of it. So please try to take a break from this whilst you're away. Now, I know it's easier said than done, but if you put a few rules in place, it becomes a lot simpler. So rules for your team. If there's more than you in the business, then make sure to communicate clearly to everybody when or if they can contact you whilst you're away. This also applies to your virtual assistant if you have one. Will you log in for a catch-up at a certain time each day, or will you only respond to emergency emails or texts? Let everybody know what you decide before you go away. And moving on to rules for yourself. Now, the thought of returning after your holiday to hundreds of emails is overwhelming. Believe me, I get it, I know. So know that it's okay to check your emails whilst you're off. Just allocate yourself a certain amount of time. So, for example, 1 hour every 2 days, and set a timer so you stick to it. Think about this before you go away, so you have an expectation and you're not putting pressure on yourself whilst you're off. Now, a bonus tip for you is to use a scheduler like Calendly. So calls can be set up at a time that works for you. It's easy to set up, and you can override your availability in your actual Calendly account, specifically for the dates that you're going away. And another good tip is to include a link to your Calendly in your out of office message, so people can arrange the calls with you ready for when you return. As business owners, it is hard to switch off completely, and that's okay. You don't have to be switched off 100% of the time. But if you put systems in place in your business before you go on holiday, you'll be able to enjoy the time off a little bit more. I hope these tips have helped in some way, and that you'll be feeling a bit more relaxed the next time you go away. Let me know if you have any other tips to share in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.